So, more discussion, not even more discussion. This is a PSA. A very important one. So sit down, shut up, and pay attention. I want to talk to you about the terms fluffy bunny and new ager. Now, these definitions are primarily my own, but they do follow the general consensus of what these mean to the pagan community. I do not, however, attempt to speak on behalf of all of them, so this video will be from my personal point of view and interpretation of these terms. Fluffy bunny. Fluffy bunny in New Age books generally is a term used to describe those who are new. However, it has very different connotations within the pagan community. While it may sometimes be a term used to describe somebody who is new, the term generally describes anybody of any experience level. It is a term used to describe people who spew misinformation, historically inaccurate data, inaccurate information, period. It's somebody who throws a temper tantrum when they're called out on their bullshit, who throw fits when they find out that their information is wrong, and that their sources are faulty, and that their sources are bullshit, and they need to go find more sources or re-educate themselves, or a combination of both, usually a combination of both. It is somebody who basically we don't need. And New Ager is very similar. New Ager is somebody who is very similar to a fluffy bunny, but also very worse. See, New Agers usually, fluffy bunnies, usually don't culturally appropriate on purpose, usually aren't racist little asshats on purpose, and fluffy bunnies generally do, sometimes, correct themselves when called out. It may take them a while, but generally, they are somewhat new people who will correct themselves, eventually, after throwing their temper tantrums, and sitting in a corner for a little bit, thinking about what they've done. New Agers, on the other hand, do not do this. They are racist little fucks, appropriative little assholes, and motherfuckers who think we're all one huge giant world religion or culture or what the fuck have you. They think that the human race is all one thing and that cultural boundaries should not exist. They are colorblind while still being racist and appropriative at the same time. They are people who refuse, in all circumstances, to see the errors of their ways. They are people who refuse to re-educate themselves on information that has already been proven incorrect. They are people who are a fucking problem and need to be uprooted and thrown away with the fucking trash because they seriously have no fucking place in our community. And if you get called a fluffy bunny or a New Ager, don't fucking throw a temper tantrum. Don't fucking tell us how insulting you find that term. Don't fucking tell us how you shouldn't call people that, because everyone was a fluffy bunny at once. No, not everyone was actually a fluffy bunny at once. There is plenty evidence within the pagan community that multiple people have come to us without a fluffy history. People who have, prior to joining the Tumblr pagan community, or the pagan community in general, actually bothered to do their fucking research. There are people who have come to the pagan community from long-standing family traditions that are relevant and legitimate who were never fluffy bunny. So no, not everyone has a fluffy bunny stage. The fact of the matter is, if you're getting called a fluffy bunny or a New Ager, it's for a reason. And you're right, it is an insult. But your bullshit in this community is an insult to the community. So, I don't know why you're bitching about being insulted by the term. Because if you get called it, you generally deserve to be called it. Because if you're getting called a fluffy bunny or a New Ager, it's because you're exhibiting characteristics of a fluffy bunny or a New Ager. It's because you are doing things that usually fluffy bunnies or New Agers do. So instead of throwing a temper tantrum and getting ass hurt because we called you a fluffy bunny or a new ager, sit down on the bench of irrelevance, it's over there, and think about what you've done. Think about the things that you have said and the ideas that you have perpetuated. Think real hard about it. Real hard about it. And then fucking correct it. Because if you correct it, we aren't going to continue calling you a fluffy bunny or a new ager. If you correct it, you will no longer be considered a problem within our community. You will no longer be considered a perpetuator of the problems within our community. And I assure you that there are problems within our community. There are a vast number of problems within our community, and people like you do nothing to help this. People like you do more to continue these problems. So, by being a fluffy bunny or a new ager and being called such, you are a problem within our community. You are an insult to our community and paganism in general. And quite frankly, I don't want to hear if you think it's insulting. If you're insulted by it, good. If you're being called it, do exactly what I said earlier. Go sit down on the bench of irrelevance and think real hard about what you've fucking done, said, or perpetuated. And then fix it. When you fix it, you therefore stop becoming a problem. Until you start exhibiting the characteristics again. In that case, you really didn't think hard enough the first time. But whatever you do, fix it. Because we have enough problems within our community without you jackasses.